Um, Today we're playing another Aang Swift Savior deck. Now, this is our third time playing this card, and I think this card has gone really under people's radars. I've liked it every time we played it. We played it in an Esper Flash deck, and we played it in a like blue-white mid-range deck that was kind of heavily featuring Wang Tong. Now, Wang Tong, elephant in the room, has not been the modern staple I expected it to be. I have liked it a lot in that Demir shell. I think that I'm happy with that Demir Wang Tong deck. I'd like to play more of it. I would like to go back to it is a build or two. Potentially more on the wildfire stuff. We'll see. I'm gonna be I think playing some Juan off stream tonight, see if we can figure it out. Not giving up on that card. But I will say Aang has been a card that has really impressed me. A card that I think is like just has actively been great like every time we've had it. And also like I think so clearly slots into the Quantum Energy Shell deck that we were working a lot on when Quantum Riddler came out. Ended up becoming a real good modern deck. That like Team CFB played at the Pro Tour, like when the Sieves innovations were really good. And it just fits so well here, I think. And one thing is, I don't think Juan fits very well into this deck. Like this deck is very very white based, and it was so awkward trying to fit Juan into this deck, having blue on two with the whites on turn one and Field of Ruin to enable one, because you really need to play those kind of effects for Juan to be a good card in your deck, in my opinion. So once I just decided let's not play Juan in this build, let's just play Aang. I feel like the possibilities really opened up a lot. One thing I was excited for too is like when you cut the ones, you have room for subtlety in the main deck. Aang being a blue card alongside some MDFCs gives you the density of blue cards to play subtlety. I think that Quantum Energy is a deck that would have really liked to be able to play subtlety in the previous build. Subtlety is really good in modern right now, but it just was lacking the blue card count. So another good blue card in the deck is weirdly very good for that. And it just lets you play this like interactive top end alongside the busted flicker stuff, alongside Guide Pride, being able to Starfield Shepherd flood the board. Um, I guess I talk a little bit more about Aang and its utility. It's like this card, like there's more tokens in the format maybe than you might realize. Like being able to like airbend away the Ajani token and then like sometimes block the Ajani has been pretty good. Sometimes Affinity's got the construct tokens. I feel like I'm forgetting a big one. Maybe it is just those two. I guess I'll get back to you. I mean, Guide Pride makes tokens. But also being able to protect your own stuff has been really good. You can even like just like evoke Solitude, airbend it, then cast it later. And then hard cast it for 2 mana, get in play. You can do the same thing with subtlety. Just stopping your opponent for a turn, having a threat has been really really nice. Of course, a lot of people kind of just think of this as a spell queller, but you target your own stuff with this pretty often as a protection spell. And then the flip side on this, water bending into a big 5/5 trampler that puts a counter on all of your top creatures. This has also come up and been really good, and it's going to be the best in this deck where you have Ocelot Pride to make a lot of cheap creatures to water bend. So really excited for this. Now, we also, I think, want to play one copy of Momo. In the very first Quantum Energy draft I had 2 copies of Momo just to like play it more, but I think the right answer is just one as a singleton Starfield Shepherd tutor target that you're also okay drawing. Having this in your opening hand can be really nuts. If you play Momo turn one, then it will make either your Riddler or your Shepherd cost 1 mana, and you can go Riddler Ephemerate or Shepherd Ephemerate on turn two. That's kind of your nut draw, so it's exciting to have access to that. I guess if you're not familiar, Momo is a 1/1 flyer, the first non-lemur creature spell with flying. Pretty specific. Costs 1 less to cast, and whenever another creature with flying enters, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So it discounts your Starfield Shepherd, discards your Riddler. It technically discounts Aang and Subtlety. The thing is, and Mockingbird. But the thing with Mockingbird is Mockingbird discount doesn't matter because you care about the quantity of mana spent for this card. And I will say discounting Aang is relevant because you will main phase Aang enough of the time. Like imagine you're on the draw and you go Momo, and then your opponent goes, they're on the play, they play a Johnny. Then you could just go on your turn, airbend away the token, then you have Aang in play, attack for 2. But you're not going to be main phasing subtlety very often. I guess it might happen sometimes. But what's nice, and that might seem like not a lot of things to discount, but you have to remember that Shepherd and Riddler you cast them twice. So there's I think a lot of times you're going to have a Momo in play, and you're going to cast one of these for 1 mana, and then they're going to go to warp, and then on turn 4 you can spend these for 4 mana, which is pretty nice. And so I think that this is a card that you're happy enough to just draw naturally. You're not going to mind drawing it as a one of, and you are also going to tutor it with Starfield Shepherd if your hand is like kind of flooded with the warp cards too. So it's kind of a good way to unclog those hands. So I think the first Momo is going to get in there. Um, Anything else? I think that's it. I just think Aang is such a perfect fit for this archetype, and I think this archetype is really good. And it's I think the card is just good enough that it deserves at least a league, hopefully two, of a deck that's really built around it instead of kind of playing the sidelines to one Shitong. Monster of 26 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Does it discount the warp? Yeah. Oh, definitely keeping this, although we are on the draw. My opponent's on the play with the mulligan to 6. So yeah, I think I will kind of try to commit to recording the showcase challenge that even fits like better on my schedule in general. Ooh, there's a Momo. Is it right to play the Momo? I kind of feel like it is. I guess it's awkward if I end up wanting to play the Phelia turn 2. It does die to Lava Dart. Okay, I guess we'll play the Guide instead. I don't want the Guide to die. If I draw Ephemerate, we might feel a little bad. So yeah, it's like I think that recording the showcases fits better in my schedule because I like to do some like game design. Oh, they're playing Storm with Channeler. Nice. Although our Storm matchup is tough. I do think Storm is really good. We have basically nothing for it in the sideboard, which is a problem. Thinking about playing Momo Pride. I can play Riddler and Phelia. I think I should try to get the Phelia Riddler thing going. Thanks, Matthew. Doing well. Hope to see you soon. I remember Avon felt really solid alongside Aang. I actually don't remember it feeling that way personally. Maybe that was the case. I would definitely like to have Avon Interrupter here, seeing Storm round 1. Storm is good, I think, at the moment. Yeah, Sanctifier is okay. It's not nothing, but maybe this is a blank in our matchup spread here. Maybe we could play Avid Interrupters over the Ashioks. Like, that's not a bad tool against Titan, and then better in this matchup. And we're also already playing Subtleties and Aang. Don't know if that's enough, though. This is my opponent's last card. They do keep a card on top. The Surveils of the Channeler obviously helping a lot. They hit a Past in Flames. All right, let's go ahead and pack it in. Okay, so I'm going to cut the Subtleties and bring in the Sanctifiers. We're a little light on answers to Ruby, which might be a good reason to play Consign. Wrath the Skies to sweep their board doesn't seem like a good plan. I'm going to be killing my pressure too often. I guess we'll play one Consign. Maybe I'll cut the Mockingbird and play a second. Again, you don't want to be targeting the Storm trigger very often, but I think just one mana counter Ruby Medallion when you have Solitude for Ral is probably an okay plan. Is there a world where Accumulate Wisdom is playable in Modern? Yeah, I mean, I think that world exists if there's like, one or two more really good lessons. I think we're just not quite there yet on the lesson quantity, quality, whatever. I really want to keep this hand. Is Deafening Silence not an option for the board? Of course it is an option. Like, we could go over all of the cards that are good against Storm. The thing is, it's like Storm is maybe picking up in popularity a bit, and if it picks up a lot in popularity, then you would, yes, play something like High Noon is usually better because it's much better against Prowess, too. It's like you want this card to come in more matchups than just the Storm matchup, We do get to do this thing, which is exciting. We get to attack for 3 with Momo. So I guess I'm going to tutor 2 Ocelot Prides. I can also I just get a guide on the rebound, so don't really need to sweat it too much, I think. Sail with the 66. Thank you. Welcome back. We're doing well. Dabbing Sphere instead of Orchid. Stormish and Tron. Yeah, I mean, Dabbing Sphere is better against Titan than it is Tron. The thing is, it's like, I think you have to have some amount of Phantoms in your Phelia Ephemerate deck. Like, it is just, like, too important of a tool in these big mana matchups, like, just to have access to, like, that angle that I'm not super interested in just saying we don't need it, but It's an option. We'll take a look at it. One thing about Storm too is like, despite it being well positioned, it is the kind of deck that just does lose to itself sometimes. So it's sometimes hard to tell like how much action you need for it. Okay, so if I can get Kitty's Blessing, I'll play Double Gut Pride for sure. Let's see. This is going to be 6, 7, 8, then 9, then 10. All right, so it seems like enough. Although we don't get to jump with the guide this turn. It's okay. Did I consider Idyllic Grange? We're playing 4 MDFCs, and some of the MDFCs are really important for blue card count for Subtlety, so I don't think you can afford to play Grange. I do like Idyllic Grange a lot. I'm a big believer in that card. Nobody ever plays around it. I don't think it's right for our build. Okay, so I can play this Guide of Souls, and then that's going to give me the ability to jump twice. So this is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 4 is 16. So we have lethal next turn. We're supposed to say don't do Ephemerate for lethal next turn. Maybe. I feel like this was more damage. Maybe it wasn't. We got like it was only -2 damage to Ephemerate 2 because we get the Momo flicker or the Momo trigger. Possible it's right to play more Momos. Like this was our first game with Momo. It looked pretty good. Oh, I miscounted somewhere. We had I thought we were going to -1. They went to 0. I think of the draw, I'm going to go -1 Shepherd, +1 Consign. Momo trigger plus Guide Jump was the same damage this turn. Yeah, we got there. We got there. No abandoned air temple in this deck. And the Guide Pride deck. Alright, so this puts a counter on each creature you control. This one. I don't know. Do you think this card is better than playing Witch Enchanter? Because that's what this card would probably be replacing as Witch Enchanter. I think the Witch Enchanter is better. Let's hope they're on a let's hope they're on a Ral. I think this hand's fine. We also have Sanctifier, which is nice. We have Guide Pride for pressure. Any more last chance qualifiers coming up? There are some, but like one thing is like I play on the I feel like the Timmy account stops me from getting to play 3. Before the Timmy account, I usually would pretty regularly just have enough QPs to play 3, and now it feels like I usually only have enough for 2. But maybe I need to be. I think one thing I might do, since again I'm seeing the good feedback on these videos. One thing I might end up doing is recording prelims off stream. I think that could be a good way to keep this going. All right, they hit a prismatic ending, which I don't exactly love, and I don't draw land, which I don't exactly love either. There's one in 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm out of QPs. I had 2 bullets. I fired both of them. Definitely want to find the white source for the Sanctifier. They go after the Pride instead of the Guide. And they pass the turn. Uh-oh. Okay. My finger kind of like twitched a little bit there. Bolt the Bird, the 28 months. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to jump on the Cat token since they've got prismatic endings in their deck. Although they're probably going to prismatic ending the Sanctifier. When you do showcase challenges, do you use the QPs or regular points? You have to use QPs. It's a QP only. There are some the ones that where I can't. There are some opens where you could use regular points instead. And for those I use the regular points. All right, the Rinse Resolve, and they hit a Ral and a Wish, so maybe I get to Solitude. I mean, Riddler Ephemerate definitely seems nice, but it seems like this is gonna be more important. So get our opponent down to 10 life points. They have a Ral, they have a Wish in exile. They play the Ral, 4 cards in their hand, 1 Wish ready to go. I would love for Magic Online to handle this differently. It's probably a little too hard coded. I'm gonna let this resolve. I think they're not gonna be flipping if they win. I think this is probably a good one to respond to. So now they need to have another instant in their hand, which they could have, and then they would need to win the flip. But if we also have the Ephemerate to like try again. Yeah, let's go ahead and try again here. So that if their last card is another instant, it's a bit annoying, obviously. And they do get to wish with a lot of mana floating, but their Past in Flames are turned off, which should be good news. I guess if they have a Storm Scale Scion in the sideboard, that would probably be enough to beat us here. Oh no, they're 1 mana short. Sebastian with a 1 year happy anniversary. Let's go. Oh yeah, I could beat him to the Warrens here, I think. Jumping the Guide of Souls onto the Solitude goes a long way. Oh wait, are they just dead on board? Yeah, they're just dead on board. I just jump onto the Solitude and then flying, pro red, flying. Good, nice. So a tough matchup, you know, but this is the thing about Storm is like sometimes there's like just nothing you could do. It feels so dumb, and then a lot of times it is just like, oh, my opponent boarded in a bunch of prismatic endings, but because they're Storm, I didn't really have any hate cards, and I won because they boarded in all these prismatic endings. That happens like so often. It's funny. And so Storm is definitely a deck that I think could be a lot more dangerous in an open deckless tournament, when you just like don't have to bring a prismatic ending in every matchup, and you get to continue to be this really lethal combo deck. It's pretty different. All right, so mulligan the one lander, although we've got, you know, Phelia, Riddler, going to 5. Yeah, I did lose to Empty the War. Well, no spoiler for the video. Okay, a little spoiler. I did lose to Empty the Warrens last night, but still, I mean, you could play both. Also, like sometimes I was playing both. I guess we put back a Shepherd and a Subtlety. Been seeing 2 days ago on Gorios. Interesting. Let's see if that's what they're still on. They hold up Hallowed Fountain. It's interesting. So they could have a Snare or maybe a Strict Serenade. Oh, shoot. We should have... I totally, when I was like building deck, I'm like, we're going to play some Strict Serenades, and then they didn't get it again. It's okay. It's probably still correct to play Empty and Scion. Yeah, I think so. It's just like having access to both, I think, is pretty good. So I wonder what they shocked for if they don't have Snare. Maybe they're just gonna like, maybe they have Serenade and they're gonna Serenade my Shepherd. Say that 5 times fast. Watch you for 711 hours this year. Let's go. Enjoy the ad revenue while you enjoy the stream, huh? Serenade is such an awful card in Gores and has so much access to. I mean, I agree. It's not super ideal. I don't think it's the worst ever. Ah, they're holding up Solitude Ephemerate. I think I like Ephemerating the Shepherd. It's like, because if I don't Ephemerate the Shepherd here, I'm not doing anything else with the mana. And then the Ephemerate also might just sit rotting in my hand. How do you check the hours? Yeah, you probably, usually they send out something like, it's called like Twitch Recap or something. I feel like for these sites, they usually roll it out like at different times, so you might not have yours. I don't know. All right, 3 cards in their hand. So we don't get any rebound in here. They got 3 cards, I got 3 cards. The Might of 3 1-drops. 800 hours watched, because that's the current record. Right, they got a Mending. Do they have a Goryo's and an Atraxa? They have two Atraxas. 2 cards left in their hand after this. So glad people are finally playing Mending and Goryo's. Although it's interesting that they're casting this one from hand instead of flashing back with Watery Grave. I guess I don't think they would want to try to Goryo's this turn. Seems like they're trying to find a land, but usually if you're finding a land, I just flash back. They discard another Mending. Okay, it's a good draw. Go into combat. $829 watch. Let's go. I didn't even know I streamed that much. I haven't looked at my recap if I have one. Gasinga's not very good against Goryo's in this spot. They graveyard a Griselbrand. I think that's worth an Ephemerate. I don't. Why are people playing this card? I hate this card. So yeah, another Starfield Shepherd. It's kind of interesting. I could get another guide and I could double jump. I could also just get another Pride and put myself in a position where I might be able to beat Atraxa. I feel like that's probably what I want to do here. All right, they just concede. You can top deck Goryo's Vengeance. I guess we didn't think that was enough. All right, Sanctifier coming in again. I might want to lead into the Phantom plan in this matchup. It can sometimes be weak to it. Probably not. They have 3 basics. Probably not the weakest. Consign is okay. Countering Atraxa ETB can oftentimes be good, and they just can't find the Ephemerate. If they have the Ephemerate naturally, that's when it really struggles. Also, countering Solitude ETB is good. I think I want at least a couple Consigns. I wonder if it's right to move away from the guides and the prides in this matchup. Let's go down to Subtlety, and I think I might just go down 1 guide, 2 guides, 2 prides, and still be able to shepherd for them. I can also just cut the shepherds. Maybe we cut, if we're gonna cut the shepherds, we probably cut the Momo also. Maybe I go down 1 Mockingbird, 1 Momo, 2 shepherd. Let's do that. Only 400 hours for me. I guess you played 400 hours as we're tuned out. Probably more than that. 676 hours. Let's go. It's very sweet y'all choose to spend your days with me. I enjoy spending my days with y'all. I got a Sanctifier. Let's keep. Just thinking about second Arid Mesa versus the Sink. I guess I'll put back the second Mesa. Don't think we're very likely to get the second Surveil. Hello, not in the face. Okay, opponent's keeping a card on top, 7 cards in their hand. I mulled a 6 and they kept 7. I already have 3 lands. I think it's okay to bottom that. Seems like we need to play the Sanctifier to play around Mending and Goryo's. Now, one problem with having Sanctifier as your graveyard hate for Goryo's is they do have a lot of prismatic endings and solitudes. Hot take: Sanctifier is the worst design card in Magic history and should be banned from every format. I do think it's a poorly designed card. I'll give you poorly designed. Worst in history is potentially a little biased. Potentially. So they have main phase Solitude. Pitching a Wrath Disguise. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't know if I could have waited to like try to have the consign up. Maybe I could have. Okay, no Ephemerate, thankfully. I would play Reanimator with Black decks. I do think that the card is like it probably just shouldn't have protection. like like literally like this card would be like totally fine without protection for like protection from red and black is so unnecessary on this card, I feel. Maybe it could be like a 3/3 without it or something. 4/4, 3/4, 2/4. I don't know, but the protection is just so unnecessary, I feel. The card is $1 and sees relatively little play. You it's not oppressive. It's not oppressive. It's just it's a card that's existed for a long time that has it's definitely hindered a lot of my brews. And I think it is a card that exists that is the kind of nauseating for a lot of strategies. It doesn't see a lot of play and it isn't super oppressive, but we're talking about design and not power level, which are two distinct things. A lot of times power level and design can get kind of conflated, but they are pretty distinct. I do. I want to run out the Aang. I think if I put a hit by land drop, I might. But they missed, so I think I'm okay to just chill. I do kind of think that they have another sweeper in their hand, another pest control. I think I'll probably still play the guide and the pride. Yeah, I might be wrong. It's like so like I'm always a hater of designs like Sanctifier where it just hoses something so efficiently, so effectively, and has such little counterplay. I usually find that to be just such a bad formula. Okay, so we do have a backup Phelia here. I guess we'll go ahead and let this resolve, and then Solitude their Solitude if they Ephemerate. Probably going to pitch the Phelia instead of the Aang. I don't think I'm going to consign to save my Solitude. I don't know the last time you checked on Vanishing Verse removal was kind of crazy. Hits everything except a Fairy, Frog, Flage. Missing Frog and Flage is pretty rough on your removal spells, I guess. But another thing too is it's like just 2 mana removal is not something I'm usually very happy playing. It also misses Leyline of the Guild Pact, which like a lot of times you want your 2 mana removal to hit Scion of Draco. So they have a replicated consign targeting. This is targeting the. Wait, this is targeting my Solitude trigger. Okay, sorry, it's a little confusing. What else are they gonna counter? They're gonna target their Solitude Evoke, but that doesn't really matter because they're gonna get the Ephemerate. They're gonna target my guide. I assume I mean Evoke, not Convoke. There's no Convoke here. I was thinking about consigning the Replicate. Now I can consign this Solitude ETB, which I might still do when the Ephemerate rebounds, but then they get to rebound again. But I get to keep. I think that's probably fine when they only have 1 card in their hand. I need to keep the pressure up. Wait, how did I get this Guide of Souls trigger? They had so many replicates. I think they've correctly identified protection is bad. Yeah, I just hate when cards have no counterplay. I guess I don't think I finished that thought. I don't like when cards have no counterplay to them. I think cards need counterplay. Or little to no counterplay. Okay, not a bad. I guess it wasn't their last card in their hand, but now they've got 3 cards in their hand. Might have to go to game 3. So they can replay the Teferi here. Did you ever comment on Tate on the Canadian RC7 plays Grixis control list? I didn't see it. I guess I'll take a look. Although if this is Demir Frog that has a light red splash for like meltdown in the sideboard, I'm gonna be very cross. That's not Grixis control. I haven't flipped Aang today. We have flipped Aang in general. It's been pretty good. All right, let's go to game 3, I think. I think I should have the 4th Subtlety. I'm going to go down in Aang. The EBTBs are kind of tough. But they've got Gaedrode in here? That's Grixis control. Alright, so not just Meltdown, also Unholy Heat and Ragvan. And no Gaedrone. I've been clickbaited. 19 land seems kind of low with triple Riddler, triple Kaito, I guess. I guess you have the Preordains. Oh, there's also this. Oh, this is the MDFC. Preordain's probably okay. Make it okay. It's a lot of Kaitos with. I guess you have the Tamios are okay with it too. IDK looks like a controlling mid range. Yeah, I definitely feel like this is a tempo deck, not a control deck, and you know, tempo for me is you know mid range with counter spells, and then rock is mid range with thought seizes. So, but I agree, not a really a control deck, although arguable. So opponents on a bolt of 6. No counterplay for en-Vec. It's interesting. Ashiok has 2 of the removal spells, so I say there's no counterplay. There is counterplay. There is counterplay to Sanctifier, but if you're playing a red and black deck, it is a very difficult card to deal with, and it's like it's tough that it like is the kind of card that hoses entire strategies while also being very difficult to deal with. Like that is a formula that I don't like cards that hose entire strategies that are hard to interact with. That's a bad formula, and I feel that isn't the hardest take here. Like I enjoy like I think maybe this is like when you're playing against like Belcher or Neoform. I enjoy that the sideboard cards against them are really cheap, like they're 1 or 2 mana, but they're also stuff that those decks can answer pretty easily. And I think that ends up leading to kind of interesting gameplay where you're trying to protect your lock pieces while pressuring your opponent. Okay, definitely gonna go for the Phelia this turn now. You're trying to protect your lock pieces while pressuring your opponent effectively. Knowing that they can answer it, but like when the lock piece also has protection, I think it's just not a good design. Esperora specifically does have a lot of counterplay to it because they happen to be a white deck. So they're starting to pay costs, then they stop. Is this a sick bluff? Kind of feels like it's a bluff. I think I want to try to grow the Phelia a little bit. It's -2 damage for +1 counter on the Phelia. Maybe that's not a good number. We'll see. We're going to hold up the Aang instead of just running the Riddler into the counter magic. It's just what's needed specifically the channel lights existing forever. Besage and Odawar are huge problems. I do agree Besage and Odawar are really bad designs too. Well, we've been had. Good thing we have another one, I guess. Ghost tapping is almost always a bluff, I found. You know what? I think that's an interesting thought. I think at this point I'll play out the Aang to try to keep the pressure on. Also emptying my hand for Riddler. But opponent mins in response here. I guess they just have Mending Atraxagorias if they're going for this. No, I'm out of QPs for the LCQ. Seems we punted this game playing into the Consign. They are going to lose the Atraxa. This is part of the bright side here. They have a pretty good spread on their hits, though. They find Riddler Ephemerate plus a land plus a Wrath Disguise. It's pretty gross. Lands tapped. So the way that they're tanking here, it kind of seems like they have another thing to reanimate in their hand, and they're thinking about taking the Gorios versus taking the Ephemerate. Besage should have been printed, but just for Legacy Vintage. I think Besage is just the channel should have cost probably 2 more mana, realistically. They choose Atraxa, Goryo, Sewers, Wrath. So it's kind of a weird spot where we have the Sanctifier, but playing it out is going to play right into the Wrath. Playing Riddler Ephemerate this turn seems fine. Hopefully we draw a land and we can also get the guide to draw the extra card, I guess. They wanted to cost 2, so it's efficiently extra Tron. It also could get discounted by legendary creatures, but like, I don't know why we're this deep in this conversation, I guess. But like, a land that enters untapped and taps for a color unconditionally is like it's like it should have had some other downside if it could just destroy a Tron land for 2 mana. It's just the card is too efficient. It's too low opportunity cost. It's too hard to interact with it, I think, for you to consider this card a good design at the very least. All we're trying to say is the card not well designed. So playing the guide here is kind of interesting because it might incentivize the Wrath Disguise this turn, which is kind of what we want. So then we can play the Sanctifier. But this also gives me the option to upkeep play the Phelia maybe. Yeah, especially if they go Wrath, we can upkeep Phelia, then draw extra card off the Riddler. Then play the Sanctifier. Seems okay. We know that their hand is Goryo's, Atraxa, Wrath, Undercity Sewers. Okay, so yeah, this frog was a missing link for us. They don't find an Ephemerate. They do find a Consign. Ephemerate on the encounters the Wrath, right? That's true. Maybe playing for that was better. Yeah, the X will always be 0. They choose Consign, Fountain, Frog, Pending here. Taking 7. Then they Consign. They also have another Frog, a Pending, Fountain, Fairy, Wrath Disguise. I'm not going to flash in the Phelia because I think we're going to try to pitch that to Solitude. But we'll draw for sure. Do you think we punted this game pretty bad? All right, let's go next round. I see the blink decks get got multiple times by Consign and Phelia trigger. Yeah, it used to be kind of an interesting dynamic where you would like bring in a bunch of Consigns against them, but then they were at the time Thoughtseize decks, and then they would just see your Consign and they'd play around it really easy. Like those spots were always tough. So on the draw against an Ugin's Labyrinth. Game 1's gonna be tougher, but we have a lot of I don't even need to click on a blank so I know what it is. We got a lot of sideboard cards for Tron. Game 1 Disruptor Flute. Be a little annoyed if they named Arid Mesa. It doesn't seem very likely against a big fan. They named Goblin Bombardment. That card's not in the deck. Then they play a Mind Stone. Now, do we play the Starfield Shepherd or do we wait to Ephemerate? I think we'll play the Shepherd. OMG Noah Johnny's. I mean, this is just quantum energy. It's been around for a while, Noah Johnny's. Okay, I guess maybe giving me the energy is worse, but now I know to get a guide instead. Oh, maybe I could get a Momo. Momo would discount this. It's kind of interesting. Momo's also like better if I draw a Quantum Riddler, which is like the best draw. I can't go Momo hold up in because it's only discounts on my term. Yeah, I know it is blanks. It's the Grixis into the story control. They name Momo. Okay, fair enough. It's kind of funny. 3 cards in their hand. They've been missing land drops. I can't go Momo into Riddler. Should I evoke the Solitude so I get to draw, like, basically cycle it? Doesn't seem that bad an idea. I might even be able to draw extra cards too because I have so many. I think because I have so many 1-drops, I think let's do this. I think that worked out. Oh, no, sorry. Ah, so dumb. Sorry, I need to let the trigger resolve first. Ah. Playing too fast. And also maybe even holding up the Ephemerate for Aang was better. Sorry about that. As soon as I did, I'm like, just playing too fast. Alright, so they play the card and they got 3 Eldrazi mana, 2 regular mana. Not too weak to Ensnaring Bridge. Maybe they get Torpor Orb here. They do get Torpor Orb. So no rebound on the Ephemerate for us. Okay, we'll just hold up Sync plus Phelia. We even get to draw an extra card off the Riddler. Give her Ephemerate before Solitude died, just in case you drew too many Ephemerates. That's true. Now, do I want to sync something for the Riddler card? I do want to use my mana next turn. Yeah, so do we now think with this pause that they have K command? Kind of seems likely that they have K command. So I could choose to play around K command by holding up the sync, or I can sync the orb and then I could flicker the Starfield Shepherd or the Quantum Riddler. Yeah, I like this might just have been a normal ass pause too. They didn't have another K command last turn necessarily. Although maybe they would have wanted to go Karn Orb. Seems like maybe they drew the Mind Stone because they could have played that last turn, so I don't think they would have just drawn the K command. How much better is Aang than Spellqueller? Well, Aang is like a good playable card. Spellqueller isn't. Is kind of the short answer. Aang is like also like infinitely more versatile. Is kind of the long answer. Like Aang is a protection spell. It's a bounce spell. It flips and transforms into a monstrous creature. It's a lot more than just I bounce your spell for a turn. I guess we get planes. Hopefully they don't have another All is Dust. Aang has been really good, very versatile. It's just like it protects your stuff, lets you reuse your stuff, just does so much. Okay, Ugin, not All is Dust. Goodbye, Quantum Riddler. Possibly a beatable card. They almost don't play the Orb. I feel like they're going to kill the Guide of Souls, but it's going to be right maybe to kill the Aang instead. Let's see. Well, they have K command. They have the third K. You just don't ever beat the third K command, I guess. I don't beat the third K command. All right, let's go game 2. It's so much worse with Color Dice. Yeah, it's just like very simply Queller. I just don't think is a playable card unless you're playing Spirits. Which honestly I did actually build Spirits. I don't know if we're gonna play Spirits, but I did build the deck. Because like you can protect the Queller with your hexproof stuff pretty well. But I like genuinely, if you're not playing Spirits, I just want to put a lot of thought into it. Okay, let's cut all the Solitudes and then 3 of the Subtleties. I really don't like Subtlety very much, but it's okay against Karn and Sire. I don't know if they're gonna play Sire. That close. I'll post it if I play it. I posted on the Moxfield, moxfield.com/user/spank. Actually, I might have posted it. Usually I wait till I play it. Okay, I guess you'll just have to wait with bated breath. Did you include River Spirit and Aether Vial? Aether Vial is, of course, in there. I ended up not playing River Spirit because it's only good if you have Aether Vial. Yeah, not posted yet. I don't know. Maybe we'll play Spirits today, I guess. I did kind of forget about it until until just now. Let's play a Phantom here. Have I seen Bayfunk Bounty Hunters plus Alter Dimension combo Bloodgas? Yeah, I saw it. I knew about it before I made the video, and I just am kind of yet to be convinced that that is going to be in any way more competitive than Broodscale or Yawgmoth, and it has to be. It has to be more competitive than those decks, of course, for you to be interested in playing it, right? It seems like a good Riddler turn to me. So I would just love to hear an argument for what it's doing better. I think the only thing it could be doing better than those decks potentially is being a better Badger Mole Cup deck. I could see that being the case. So, ooh, they have a Thought-Knot Seer. Although my hand is really stacked. If they take the Phantom, that means that they have Tron. How their airship's been really good. We're like 14-3 with Soul Trader, and 9 of those matches are challenges or showcase challenges, and I don't know what our overall record is with Yawgmoth, but it's also the Yawgmoth build, but it's really positive. We 5-0'd with the Besiege build. Airship's been really nuts. Okay, so drawing the land kind of makes this easy. We get to Phantom another tower, and we get to hold up either Consign or Phelia. Yeah, so again, I would love for the Bounty Hunter build to like have a reason to play it. I think it's a very cool deck idea, but it just I just usually whenever there's a combo that is less competitive than other combos, I don't think it's good to include. Okay, they're holding up K command, so I guess I'll not play the Phelia. Then we'll hold up both and attack for 6. I will say one thing that makes me more optimistic about the Spirits deck is that Allies went really well. Allies, I think a lot of people missed it. We had a positive win record with Allies. And a positive win record with Allies is really exciting. Modern looking good. They attack? They know I have Phelia in my hand. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Looks like we're 1 short of lethal unless we can get 2 more energy. Oh, okay. Well, to game 3 we go. Seeing that they've got Thought-Knot Seer also, it does make me more interested in Subtlety. Maybe I'll go down a Shepherd. Maybe I'll go down a Mockingbird. Probably just do Subtleties is okay. What about Elves? Lava Dart is really popular for me to want to think about Elves, I guess. I haven't posted the Spirits in Moxfield. Well, I'll post it at some point. Maybe today. Well, let's commit to taking a look at it after this league. All right, so we're on the draw for game 3 against Tron. We have a Consign. Not a spectacular hand overall. I guess I'll put back the Shepherd, although the Shepherd does go well with the Guide of Souls. Could maybe put back the Witch Enchanter. Yeah, I guess what we'll do is unless we feel like we have to hold up Consign turn 2 because my opponent's hand is really good, in which case we're gonna need some luck anyways. I might just Starfield Shepherd 4 planes on turn 2. All right, that's 2 pieces of Tron. Do we think they have Natty Tron? I usually don't like to play around Natty Tron too hard. Although in this spot now we just have the luxury of holding up Consign or Phelia. Any turn 2 Riddlers with Momo? We did it with Starfield Shepherd. You're aware of downtime tomorrow? Oh, I was not aware of downtime. Thank you, Magical. Okay, I guess I get to do a writing day tomorrow, which is good. Don't know if we'll do Balacha or something. Maybe I'll play like a Balatro challenge thing because I do when the Balatro update happens. I think I might take a little break from Magic and see about doing a lot of Balatro streaming. I just love that game so much. Fetch now. Oh, I'm totally okay if they K command. What did you want to play around with fetching now? Maybe I'm missing something. Cruel Cap and weapons manufacturing was blowing my boys' minds last night in testing. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, we played a lot of it, or at least a good amount. This is from this 4 months ago. 4 months ago, finds claws or explosives. I guess I didn't have. I guess this was the first draft before we were on the claws explosives. Yeah, but this deck was really good. We played. I might have trophied with it. We at least had like I remember having a really good stream with it. I agree that. I agree that like Tezzeret's maybe a little underplayed in these builds. Like we were playing 4 because it was a new card and like we want to be trying as a 4 of, but I did think it was very good as well. If you ephemerate the guy that's a good response, yes. All modes of K command target for some reason. But thank you for the revolt or the report. So they got 5 cards in their hand. Did not find Tron, thankfully. Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, it was good. You know, it's tough to spend so much time on Affinity, especially because you know when you spend it all at the same time, the decks kind of even blend together in my brain when I just played nothing but Affinity. But yeah, I also remember that one being good. Are we holding up Aang here? Holding up Aang seems right. Yeah, let's get rid of one of their spawns and attack for 7. So they're down to 10. So they're dead if we can just Aang a big spell, then Phelia the token. They have K command instead. So Aang is also very good against K command because they can actually still cycle it. You still get to draw a card for 0, but then they only have to spend 2 mana on a 0 mana value K command. Okay, so let's keep this and we can go Phelia kill. I guess we'll target Temple first. And then they'll K command, and then we'll Aang, and then we'll kill another Tron land. I forgot that this was one of the big points to Aang, is it's really good against the X spells, Wrath, and K command. But this was part of the dynamic last time we played it too. Notably, Spell Queller can't do this. I know they're kind of similarly costed and kind of similar effects, but Aang is so much better than Spell Queller, but it's not necessarily a good comparison because I just don't think Queller is very good. That being said, I did build a Spirits deck. I'm pretty sure I had Queller in it. I built it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Having a card that's like good against K command and a Johnny, like these are 2 cards that have been, of course, very frustrating pieces of Modern, and so it's kind of a swift savior against those cards to some extent. Yeah, there's just a lot. Like also like it hits Titan for a turn, can sometimes like stop a Riddler for a turn. I think we'll keep this on the play in the blind. Obviously, the sink being a blue source is pretty tough, but we can maybe get a plains off the Shepherd if we're desperate. Queller is more aggressive though with Lords. So I agree that in the Spirits deck, Spell Queller is better than Aang. I'm on board with this thesis. Okay, we're in the Skirk Prospector bracket. Let's go to get a plains. But also, Queller is not more aggressive than Aang in general because Aang flips into this gigantic creature that puts counters on all your stuff. Like that has been relevant. Cool to see goblins. I do think goblins is a deck that if like Boros and Prowess weren't as popular, would be pretty dang strong. Just like a lot of grindy potential and the ability to sometimes go crazy with Ward Instigator, Arena of Glory. Ward Instigator, Arena of Glory is something I found about a year ago, and I was really excited for it. I think I talked a little bit about it on stream, and I was like, "This has so cool." Turn two, you put all this stuff into play. My very first game I played against, I was on the play. I had Arena of Glory Ward Instigator. I was pogging, and then my opponent went Ocelot Pride. Then my opponent went Ocelot Pride, and I never played the deck again. It's just, Ocelot Pride, Lava Dart, Guide of Souls, a Johnny. I think at the time Amped Raptor might have still been legal. Like, look, my opponent's hasting. I'm literally just gonna block. Look at the resources my opponent's put into this, and I just cast 2/1 drops. It's so embarrassing to play this card. It's such a cool combo, and it's potentially so explosive and so powerful, but so much mana value into play for 2 mana at hasty. It's so cool, but it just can't work. I wish I had better news. It's just so I can't live like this. I can't be on this side of the table. It was the deck that just didn't make the stream. It was devastating though. But if somehow all these cards leave the meta, it would be really, really cool. Sting Scourger. Cool. Isn't Shepherd better than Riddler? I don't think so. I like we're the control deck in this matchup. I just want to draw a lot of cards and find more interaction instead of trying to get aggressive. It's a little bit of a wash because we kind of can't lose this game no matter what is maybe the better attitude to have. Ooh, maybe I'll get Momo here. Momo's pretty nice. We could just start casting these things for 4 mana. Oh, okay. I thought I didn't really. We've already cast a Flier though. It's kind of interesting that it doesn't let us cast the Riddler for 1 mana here. If you could pick 3 to leave, Guide, Pride of Giant. Let's not do this today. No ban talk, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of time for ban talk when we get more bored of Avatar. But I'm not bored of Avatar yet. I'm also really optimistic for Lorwyn. I think Lorwyn is going to be an awesome set. Lorwyn looks so good. I don't know if any of the other sets next year look particularly good, but I'm glad we're really starting with the good stuff. Goblin Matron. Getting a Mob. I do like this card a lot. I tried a lot of Agatha's Soul Cauldron Mob decks. Don't think I'm wanting to like evoke Solitude here. Am I not stoked for TMT? So I somehow didn't have a childhood. I don't know what was going on, apparently. But kind of want to just sink instead of Mockingbird the Pride. Although Mockingbird Pride seems pretty good. Sink also seems unbeatable. They can't even cast this Mob. I don't know what happened. Maybe I didn't have a childhood or something, but I consumed 0 TMNT content as a child. I know nothing about the setting other than there's a bunch of freaking turtles in the sewers. And I'm not particularly hyped. Do I just have lethal next turn if I go Mockingbird? Alright, let's let them resolve a spell. I'm not hyped about these turtles. I don't know a lot about them. TMT got me so worried being another mini set. Yeah, like these mini sets that are like so full of legendary creatures. It's so hard for them to be interesting for modern or like good at all. Listen, it could be a well-designed set. It totally could be. But I'm not as someone who knows nothing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm also a little late in life to be getting into them. I think if you're excited for the set, I'm happy for you. Just like I was really happy for Avatar, as a big fan of that series. Do I even play Sanctifier? Like it has protection from their entire deck, but it is kind of just a 2/2 that they can never kill. It's probably still good. You know what? Let's just run it back. You can play your goblins. Sekiro with the 60 months. Thank you. Welcome back. TMT just wasn't appealing as a child. I don't know. I mean, it's a big world out there. I don't remember exactly what I was into, but I was into other stuff. I'm sure I would have loved the pizza parties or whatever they got into. Not gonna mulligan Solitude Ephemerate. Although I might not get to keep Solitude Ephemerate. As Goblins player, Sanctifier is pretty unbeatable. But can't you just combo? Listen, I want to give the Goblins a chance too. This is an investment in future and getting to play against Goblins in the future. All right, let's go ahead and go for the Surveil since we didn't draw land. I started playing Magic in 2012 with the release of Return to Ravnica. Stop by. Thank you for the modern showcase video on YouTube. Nice, yeah. I really enjoy. I've enjoyed doing them, and I hear the good feedback on them, and I would love to continue to put them out for y'all. So I think I do want to commit to continuing, like whenever we have sure, whenever we have a showcase challenge or a last chance qualifier. I think I want to commit to recording those for YouTube. So that's at least once a month. And then I might also just try to record a prelim off stream, and then this will also let me kind of continue this narrative a little bit of, like, you know, the competitive content, and then let me focus on the prelims and get these like weekly recorded sessions for y'all. So again, thank you for all the good feedback, and I am going to keep at it. I guess I should. Sure, I'll Solitude Ephemerate the Ignoble Hierarchs so that they can't attack with the Prospector this turn. How the LCQ? I recorded it for YouTube, so you can take a look, see how it went on there. It's already up. Yeah, I know about Benevolent River Spirit. The thing is, you just need a way for that card to enter with that's not Aether Vial. So like, I don't know what it is, or maybe you play like a bunch of pitch cards to like pitch it if you draw it or something. But I'm just not going to waterbend this into play ever, or in any realistic game. Alright, so let's just go to Plains here. Have you ever done retrospective on card reviews, like a larger thing covering multiple sets? I one time did a video kind of recapping a season and all the decks, and it ended up being like one of the longest like time it ever took me to make a video, because it was so much to cover, and just the output I got from it didn't really feel like it was worth the effort that got put in. So I didn't make another one, but you know, I've been saying this a lot this like the last couple of weeks. Like every year I say to myself I want to do more pre-recorded YouTube content. Every year I end up filling my off-stream time with other projects instead, which is, I think, fine. But maybe this is the year I will actually start doing that, because I'm enjoying it more. Also, I think. All right, let's draw two. Although anging my Solitude this turn was kind of appealing. Yeah, I think with the ability to ang Solitude, we don't want to attack, right? Mono blue Vestige with double tempo, you can Vestige into River Spirit turn 2. That's something. Listen, I'll take something, but probably not what we need. Yeah, don't want to attack there. So let's get a draw step stop here. Might be a good video to use a collab. Yeah, I could have Dingo call it, and he could like roast my bad decks. That actually sounds like it could be kind of fun. Oh, sorry, I don't. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna ang the Solitude now. I didn't mean to attack. I just got distracted by my friend Young Dingo. Okay, so we have a draw step stop, so if we don't want them to cast their top card, we can Solitude. And if it's a land, we can do nothing. Yeah, we can just do nothing here. We do have another Aang, so blocking seems fine. I like the idea of more competitive videos on YouTube where you only have to focus the plays. Yeah, I think it's good, and people are also more interested in it too. So it's also possible we could split it into 2 channels. So I'll think a little bit about it. I do find the just talk about content all streams kind of boring. I guess let's go ahead and get information about what they draw. If their top card is a munitions expert, we get kind of punished, but I want that info. Okay, so their top card is a ringleader. Aren't those podcasts? Aren't those podcasts? So they're not going to Thoughtseize me? Does Egg be Modern Oz viable again? I don't know if you watched Friday's stream. We had a positive win record with allies, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares that we had a positive win record with allies, but I'm kind of freaking out about it a little bit. It was like, to me, that was one of the most interesting things that happened last week. That deck was crazy. It was the lowest viewed stream by a lot, but I don't care. We're gonna play some more allies. Yeah, it was also like the European RC, so that might have and like Thanksgiving. So I do think that might have been part of the reason why people missed it. But we are gonna play more allies. Listen, I'll be streaming to 10 people here playing allies. Oh, and then also I posted the I made a mistake. I posted the showcase challenge recording on YouTube like an hour after the allies video went live. So I have no one to blame but myself. They brought in Trashmaster, or they left it in. They also have Sting Scourger and Harbinger here. The Milaz deck, yeah. So we'll definitely be interested in working more on that one. We also have a 2-mana Solitude we can play because we airbended it, and now a 0-mana Solitude. You did preface to the ally deck with it's probably bad and slow, but we're playing anyways, right? Yeah, I did everything to sabotage the allies deck, and I have no one to blame but myself. My regret is immense, and I'd like to formally apologize. But we will play some more. I generally hated Sanctifier. A lot of matches brought it in. I did also not like the Sanctifiers so much. It was kind of a hedge for me. Part of the reason I keep playing Sanctifier is, of course, it's like fine against prowess. Although I didn't like it against prowess, it's fine against Boros. I didn't like it against Boros, so I didn't like it there. I think we ended up cutting it from the sideboard. But I also do think that eventually people will start picking up the Soul Trader deck because we are doing so well with it. And if that's the case, then I want to be ready. Okay, my opponent is currently dead on board if I do nothing else, so let's just do nothing else. We need to dignify them with an elegant Xaxes. They see the ally, which is able to return Sorcery Instant. I don't remember that one, if you want to remind me the name of the card. Let's get a 4-1 prediction. Ooh, Anchor to Reality to put Airship into play. It's kind of interesting. I did forget about that card. Well, we got Solitude, Ephemerate, and Guide Pride on the draw. I guess I'll put also Phelia, Riddler, so I guess I'll put back the Aang, kind of the odd card out here. Oh wait, I don't have Ephemerate. I totally saw Ephemerate in this hand. 1,063. That's pretty. That's probably pretty close to the total streamed hours. Okay, guys, don't freak out. I think I might have awakened my third eye here. Let's just start a cult. Spike the psychic. Trusted my visions. Subscribe, and I think that might just be the new direction for the stream. Land would be nice. I guess let's not get Galvanic discharged. Yeah, Anchor to Reality is pretty cool. Like, I could definitely see like playing like Demir Affinity with Anchor and Airship. Phyrexian Tower Affinity is pretty cool. I'll put it on my list of things to do. It is nice today. We're taking a little break from airshipping, but airship's also been like so insane, you know. Anchor to Reality Airship. So see if they have a discharge. It would be really nice to kill the warrior and not let it kill my pride. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. It's back. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's causing it. I deleted the filter and it still was down for y'all. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. It's very weird. All right, so they gain life off the Flage, unfortunately, so they are going to be able to kill my Phelia. Land would be great to draw extra card off the Riddler. Nice. So they're going to trade the Pride and the Cat token for the Phelia. Then I will have gained the life from my Pride, which is also nice. Disconnect, reconnects. Yeah, it seems the best. I've been disconnect, reconnected, and I switched scenes also. But it also, like, when my mic was all taped up and I couldn't disconnect, reconnect, it just came back by itself. It's very weird. Live stream watch worlds. I don't like to do watch parties. I get really bored just sitting there trying to be entertaining without me playing any magic. But oh no, so they drew the fetch land, or they had the fetch land to surveil and escape the Flage. We can sink the Flage. But I'll probably watch a Little Worlds as a treat. Might catch them F6. I guess they also might just let it go back to their hand. That is what they do. Interesting. Don't know if that's right or not. I feel like it's just better to kill the Pride now, right? Because if you cast the Phelia, you're killing Pride and you're killing Cat Token, the Flage. You are gaining 3 life, so maybe that's worth it if they just have nothing in their hand. So 2 cards in their hand here. Hopefully one of them is not a Johnny. It's Ragavan. So they get punished for attacking with the Cat Token. If they hit a 1-mana creature, they'll suck. They hit a Witch Enchanter. Wouldn't have been the worst draw on our end, but it's not the biggest deal, I guess. Nice to have 2 flash creatures up. Obviously going to hold the Cat Token back when we know they have the Ragavan. Yeah, it seems like I just want to subtlety the Ragavan instead of subtletying this. Not going to be too different either way. Do you have Mana Tithe? And they hit an Ocelot Pride. Unbelievable. And they hit Ocelot Pride. That went poorly. Fuck shit, dude. Alright, so Ragavan, they've got Mystery Card. They cast the Ragavan. No attacks. So the Pride is going to die to a bombardment trigger. Going to be tough to avoid that happening no matter what. But let's just go ahead and get or spend 2 mana, draw 3 cards. And we'll surveil and play Phelia. especially drawing 2 more warp creatures. Passing back. Now they can sacrifice 2 creatures, and if they get 1 more card in the yard, then they can escape the Flage. I think that their hand is a non-fetch land. I think could be a bombardment maybe, because they would have played a fetch land last turn, and they would have played any creature last turn. I guess it could be no. They would have attacked with Ragavan if they had discharge, right? Yeah. So kind of can't be anything else. I don't know. Although again, they have nothing. The pride is mine. Okay, I did forget that. They might forget that too. Honestly, it kind of could be easy to miss. Maybe not. Great, they concede. Wow, their last 2 draws must have been really bad for them to concede there. Okay, we're gonna bring in the Sanctifiers as a passive way to deal with Flage. We're gonna bring in the Wrath Disguise as we get too far behind the board. I do like Aang a lot. I do think Aang sometimes is good against like a Johnny. I think overall it's not very good against Boros. Sometimes okay against like the Flage Escape. I think I'll go down to 1 or 2. I'm not the biggest Subtlety fan. It's okay against them. I think I'd like to trim at least the first copy. I'm going to cut the Momo, maybe. Maybe we could keep Momo in just for testing. That's probably fine. I usually kind of like to go down to Phelia as well. I do want to keep in the Mockingbird. They have a lot of stuff I want to copy. So maybe 1, and then we could maybe go down another Subtlety. TH Smoothie becoming a mod. Let's go. Congrats. Well, we got Guide Pride. Let's keep. So they have multiple 1-mana creatures. Okay, obviously a great draw. Never Subtlety there. Just need to ephemerate this Riddler, of course. Interesting. Solitude, Ephemerate, and Ocelot Pride probably too good this turn, especially. And then my hand will be mostly empty, and I could just hardcast the Riddler next turn, unless for some reason I want to evoke the Subtlety. I don't think I'd do that very often. We also get to attack with the jumped Guide of Souls here. Kind of similar to how game 1 went. Like, if they play Flage, we could Subtlety, because then we would get the Ephemerate rebound on the Cat Warrior token. And then we'd also get to jump again with the Guide of Souls, because the Subtlety will trigger the Guide, and then the Solitude will trigger the Guide. So yeah, if they play Flage, I think we should Subtlety and just try to tempo them. Tempo! Your spells cost mana? So embarrassing. MH2 better than MH3 confirmed. They did put the Flage on top. So I don't want to jump on the Guide. I want to jump on the Pride. I want to jump on the Guide again, I guess. Not a bad draw at all. No Wrath Disguise, no Wrath Disguise, no Wrath Disguise. Although they bottomed the Flage, or they topped the Flage, so they probably don't even have Wrath in their deck. Dude, they went Guide into a Johnny into Flage on the play. That curve sucks. Sorry for all this shit talking. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage, and they're at 12. I guess we'll keep that on top. And it seems like I probably do want to jump on the Guide again. So they can't fetch and flage because they're at 1. All right, that was a beating. That was a beating. So we 4-1'd our first league with the deck. Pretty good. This targeting Solitude. I mean, they have Wrath. Well, no, Solitude was just like a flying Solitude. There's so insane for them. They were just dead on board, right? If they had Wrath, they would have cast the Wrath. If they had Wrath in their deck, they should have bottomed the Flage, probably. All right, so let's open our chests. And I think, I don't know if I want to play another league with this deck. It's definitely not the most interesting because it's, you know, Quantum Energy, a pretty tried and true strategy. I think Aang is really good in it. We didn't necessarily Aang a lot that league. But I do still like Aang a lot. I think what we'll do next is pivot over here.